Okay, wait, starting. Okay, fine, we're good, thank you, Lauren. Are we good?
So what happened?
Okay.
Fill it
We
out.
have to fill.
Where's your glasses?
Shabbat Shalom. We are finishing up the Hebrew month of Elul. We're in the last week. You may have noticed the moon waning towards Rosh Hashanah. For some of us, maybe that's a wonderful feeling of anticipation. For others, there might be some dread. So I just want to welcome everyone here who's in the room with us, everyone who's joining us via live streaming. And tonight, as we really make our way closer and closer to Slichot and then Rosh Hashanah, we're continuing with elements of music and prayer that get us in the mood for Teshuvah, for that turning inwards and turning back towards who we want to be. And part of that spiritual preparation is a physical preparation of our Torah scrolls, and we'll be changing the Torah mantels from blue to white this evening as well. And tonight also we have the last in our series of Elul speakers about folks' relationship, connection to Israel, and it'll be great to hear Amy speaking and her dad Jeff speaking the words of her sister Sarah, who couldn't be here tonight. And that will come a little bit later. So even though we're a small crowd, I think we can take a moment to meet and greet each other and wish each other Shabbat Shalom. Maybe there's someone who knows yet that you can introduce yourself to.
Shabbat Shalom.
And I want to thank Pete Cotton and Alan Champion, I guess in absentia, for hosting our Oneg. Because they are not here, I'd love to find volunteers to light our Shabbat candles. Is there anyone who'd like to come up to light our Shabbat candles? Maxine?
I sing a different song.
Well, light them and we'll all sing together. How about that? Will you let us do that? Or if you want to sing your song, we'll listen. You want to sing your song?
I sing the old song.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So, as I said, Slichot is coming tomorrow night, which is a night of vigil, really, for us to begin that more intensive process of repentance. The word Slichot is plural from the word Slicha, which means excuse me in colloquial Hebrew. It's what you would say if you were getting on a crowded bus and politely shoving people so you can get through. In Israel, you're just usually politely shoving. And you'd say, Slicha, Slicha. And the slichot in the high holiday liturgy are full of excuse me's. So I thought that as we take our moment of silent meditation tonight, we can use this as an opportunity to prepare to say slicha. And maybe you can just bring to mind one person, someone who's alive, maybe someone who's no longer with us, someone that would appreciate your addressing them about a piece of unfinished business, or someone that within yourself it would be helpful to you to address with them a piece of unfinished business with those simple opening words, slicha, please excuse me. So you can take a moment and close your eyes if you'd like and just arrive here in this moment of Shabbat. And if you want to start kind of turning towards slichot, bring someone to mind to whom you need to say slicha. Those words, born and reborn again, for us in our Jewish context, that really happens in a spiritual way every high holidays. There's a renewal that happens. And there are things that happen internally that are renewed, and there are these symbols, these outward symbols of renewal. And one is that changing of the Torah mantels from a darker color to white, which is a symbol of purity, and also in innocence and rebirth and renewal. So we're going to change those Torah mantels now, and I invite everyone to rise, and I'm going to go to the ark. And I have one person from each Torah changing group that's going to come up and take a scroll. Except I'm not sure who's coming from Allie and Kate. Who'd like to come up and take the scroll? I'll give you a little one. Allie, do you want to do it? Okay. So if my representatives can come on up, and as we do this ritual, Belinda's going to lead everyone in a melody of an Elul. And you can just enjoy watching it happen. Watch the transformation. transition from that renewal and transformation of the year to the weekly renewal of welcoming Shabbat. And we'll turn now to Lecha Dodi. Many, many thanks to everyone who just helped do that. They looked beautiful. So Lecha Dodi, page 138.
Thank you.
Together, blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night, and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzebaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on people. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv arabim.
Sit
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Please join me on page 160. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Shabbat.
In a moment, we'll join in Tefillah, and we will chant the first three brachot, the first three blessings of the Tefillah together. And then you'll be invited to continue from that point forward on your own silently through page 180, using the prayers in the book or the prayers in your own hearts. And you can be seated when your prayers are finished. And maybe the spider is crawling all over our lectern and praying us as well. If you're wondering why we keep on shaking our books, we have Sammy Spider with us tonight. Okay, please rise. Tefillah starts on page 164. We say our Mishaberach for healing of body, mind, or spirit. And you can find the words on page 371. And I think I forgot to tell people that the page numbers are in the brackets. I think most of us have been around the block a while. I know that, but I apologize if you've been wondering what page you're on. So for healing this week, we are thinking about Linda Fall, Joe Watanabe, Louise Ross, Reagan Conaghy, Harvey Redak, Peggy Tunick, Martin Yoklik, Terry Moran, Sybil Reno, Deb Ruddy, Patricia Chadwick, Danny Redak, Barbara Mason, Henry Resnicott, and Miriam Swidler. If there are other folks you're thinking of for healing, say those names at this time.
Neil Becker.
Maxine Schaefer, Mark Stevens.
That we're grateful for, and then if you'd like to share it, you may. So, one good thing. I don't like to share.
Sister's last radiation treatment was today.
Other good stuff. Jeff's sister's last radiation treatment was today. Folks on this side did not hear you. Other good things.
I heard my grandson, who is not quite 2, say "Oma" to me on the phone. Oh, to hear his voice.
Oma. We have Omas in my family too. Any other good things?
My great grandchildren and my granddaughter are moving here tomorrow from Louisiana. Wow. Thrilled.
Wow. Oh. So for all of these good things and the other ones we're just keeping to ourselves, we'll say, Baruch atah Adonai, Minu melech haolam, hatov v'hametiv. Praised are you, Adonai our God. Your presence fills creation. You are good, and you make good things happen. Some announcements. Tomorrow night is our Slichot service. It's at 7 o'clock, and it's here. And this is a joint service with, I can't ever keep the numbers right, five other congregations? 6 other congregations, 7 altogether. Okay. Reform congregations in the sort of greater New Haven area. Also Temple Emmanuel from Waterford is going to be part of it since we're sort of this way. So the rabbis of these congregations, we all share leading some study beforehand and then leading the service, and then we have a joint choir from all of those congregations and the cantors and the soloists from all those congregations. It's quite a rich experience, and it really is a wonderful way to just kind of get yourself ready for the sounds and the liturgy and the words and the spirit of the holidays. So I hope you can come, and if you're coming, if you can provide a dessert for the Oneg, it would be much appreciated because we're feeding everybody too, so please come. Let's see, I'm not sure that Eilach relates to this group, but I'll say it anyway, just in case you know of a family with a Jewish preschooler. I will say that. So we have twice a month a free preschool program on Sunday mornings during our religious school time. It goes from 10 to 10:45. It is happening this Sunday. And it's geared to kids from birth through 4 years old along with their parents. So if you know anybody, bring them here. We have Sandy Herzog, who's wonderful, leading that. This Wednesday, we do not have morning minyan. Everyone's resting their voices and preparing for Rosh Hashanah, which begins Wednesday night, and our service is at 7:30. And of course, then we have 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, so Thursday morning at 9:30, and then Friday morning at 9:30. There's a whole lot of other things happening Thursday. Please look in your home Megillah on the website, weekly emails to get the details. I believe our meditation group is not meeting this Thursday night, but we'll pick up after Rosh Hashanah. And yoga is meeting Tuesday and Wednesday mornings, I assume still meeting this week. And again, thank you, Kate and Allie, for sponsoring our wedding tonight. So, if you haven't been with us the past few weeks, we've been having this series of congregants talking about their relationship with Israel, their connection, and we come to a rousing conclusion tonight with the stories of two sisters, one of whom isn't here, but her father will be speaking on her behalf. So we have Amy and Sarah, Sarah's words, Amy herself and her words. And I'm not even going to say, you're going to say where you went and why and what the program was. So I'm not even going to give you an introduction. Just come on up. Amy was confirmed here this past spring, and is a junior. Wow. Just want to make sure that this is the right stuff. So start talking. If they don't hear you, I'll come back up and catch us.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
This summer, I spent a month in Israel with a program called Ninji Adventure in Israel. Throughout the month, we began in the Negev and we worked our way chronologically through Israel. During the first week or so, we camped out and hiked in the Negev, and we climbed Mount Shlomo, Mount Ervel, Masada, and countless other mountains. The desert was incredible. Even though it was at times 120 degrees during the day and 80 degrees at 4:30 in the morning when we began our hiking each day, it was such an amazing experience. It was also when I began to realize how connected I really was with Israel. Going into my trip, I knew that I had a connection with Israel, and I was so excited to go. It didn't matter if I would be thousands of miles away from home or that I didn't know anyone, because I was going to Israel, and I knew it was simply somewhere I had to go. The first Shabbat I spent in Israel, I was in the Negev, at a viewpoint overlooking Jordan. We were racing the sun to finish services before we ran out of natural light. As we were sitting, taking a moment to reflect on the week, the lights of Jordan suddenly turned on, as if the city had heard us. Now, coincidentally, we were using the same prayer book in Israel as we use here at CBSRZ. And sitting there in Israel on Shabbat, saying prayers that I've said so many times before in a place that I had heard about all my life was truly spectacular. It was an experience that I can't describe in words. And at that moment, I felt so strongly connected to Israel and to Judaism. But little did I know that this feeling would only get stronger in the next few weeks. During my trip, we went to the hotel, the Western Wall, twice. And both times I was in awe, complete and utter awe of what lay before me. I was at a loss for words, a loss for thoughts, standing in front of the wall. Standing there, I could simply feel the energy and the power of the place. Hearing people crying and praying and writing, looking at the notes pushed into every crevice of the wall, it still sends shivers down my spine. We were there for about 45 minutes, praying. I remember just standing there for a good 20 minutes, listening, feeling, and just thinking. And in those 45 minutes, I felt at home. I felt like I belonged in Israel, and that I was a part of Israel, and Israel was a part of me. Now I get to the part of my trip that I don't like addressing, because my trip to Israel involved so much more than the war. However, I can't escape talking about it, because it impacted not just my trip, but my life so much. 2 weeks into my trip, war broke out in Israel. I was actually on an army base in a training simulation when the first rockets were fired. We were up north, away from the major rocket fire. We heard one siren, and everywhere we went from then on, we were given the protocol of, here's the bomb shelter. If you hear a siren, go inside, find the middle walls of the building, and sit with your hands over your heads. We were then told if you could not get inside, you were to lay down on your stomach and put your hands over your heads until you heard the boom. Surprisingly, I wasn't scared. As the fighting in Israel got worse and worse, the people of Israel joined together. I remember the day when the 3 boys were found dead. I was in Jerusalem, and you could tell that the entire city joined together. People were out in the streets with signs. Posters were hung up saying, they will be remembered. Our boys will be remembered. And the atmosphere changed, and you could just feel that people were simply kinder to each other. But life went on. We went to a chocolate factory, we went hiking, we went shopping, and we went to the beach. All during a war, and it was normal. This made me realize how lucky I am that war isn't my normal, because it shouldn't be anyone's normal. And that is something that I now feel so strongly about, especially in Israel. Throughout my month in Israel, I grew to love Israel. It feels like a home to me. And when I did come home, I was so protective of Israel. I would read about the war, but only from Israeli sources. I wouldn't be able to listen to the United States news or anything that even said anything remotely negative about Israel. I could not tolerate it. It made me mad, and it still makes me mad. Because I love Israel, and it is now so much a part of me that I want peace for Israel. Because Israel deserves peace. And it's too amazing of a place to be plagued by war and attack. I want to end with one last image, one last story about my experience in Israel. One of my best friends on my trip came to Israel not knowing any Hebrew or what Judaism was about, and she had not had a bar mitzvah. So we taught her the Shema, because she wanted to know one prayer by the time she left Israel. So after a week or two, drilling the words in her head and telling her about what the prayer meant in general and what the prayer meant to us, we returned to the Western Wall. 10 minutes before we left, we were standing in a line, all 5 of us, and we were holding hands. And my friend is on my right, and I hear her very quietly say, Shema Yisrael. I then joined in with her, Adonai Eloheinu. Then all 5 of us together, Adonai Echad. We said the Shema in Israel together at the Western Wall, the most powerful, magical place on earth. And in that moment, I realized how much I loved Israel and Judaism. And leaving Israel the next day, I knew I was coming back. And as sad as I was the week I returned to Connecticut, I knew that I would return to Israel. I know I will, because Israel is such a part of me now, and I am truly part of it. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Jeff. My daughter Sarah is currently away at college. She's unable to join us tonight, but she asked me to speak her words on her behalf. This summer, I was fortunate enough to travel to Israel for 10 days on Birthright. Birthright is basically a free educational trip to Israel for Jewish young adults between the ages of 18 and 26. Being just 18, this expedition came at a pivotal time in my life. After completing my freshman year of college, I had grown up and become more independent. As a result, I felt my relationship with Judaism needed to mature as well. Even after spending just a week and a half in Israel, I became more confident in my faith and in my identity as an American Jew. Tonight, I want to share with you the connection I feel to Israel in light of the recent turmoil. When I first told my family and friends I was going to Israel during the summer, everyone told me almost immediately to be careful because it was dangerous. With this expectation, I got onto an airplane and nervously waited for that culture shock to set in. However, from the moment I stepped foot in Tel Aviv with my Torah group, I felt unusually safe and peaceful in a region famous for war. That being said, seeing soldiers with weaponry strapped to their backs everywhere, from McDonald's to desert hikes, opened my eyes to the underlying hostility in the Middle East. I was shocked and deeply saddened upon learning that the reason El Al, the Israeli airline, did not put an Israeli stamp in my passport was because some of the Arabic countries would not permit individuals into their country with Israeli stamps, because in their eyes, Israel should not and does not exist. Politics aside, as a Jew, I am proud of the cultural melting pot known as Israel. On Birthright, I rode a camel, ate the best falafel on the planet, floated in the Dead Sea, and did tons of shopping, which is great, but what really made my experience so unforgettable was the company. I went to Israel with Derek and Nikki, two of my friends that I spent many years in religious school. Together, we explored the Western Wall and other holy sites we had been learning about from our Hebrew school teachers since elementary school. Describing my feelings upon seeing the Western Wall for the first time is simply undescribable. And for anyone who has ever seen it, I'm sure you know exactly what I am talking about. I was met with feelings of awe, peace, and hesitation. What was I supposed to pray about? And that's what I like about Judaism. I can pray about whatever I want, and I did. I will never forget standing on the roof of our hotel in Tel Aviv on Shabbat, overlooking the city while having Friday night services with my friends was extraordinary. I have always perceived Israel through a Jewish lens, but after visiting Israel, I realized just how diverse Israelis are. For example, the street signs are displayed in Hebrew, Arabic, and English. Furthermore, our tour guide named Yakram was a sniper in the Israeli army. One day, while walking through the incredibly hot city of Jerusalem, he shared with me that although he was raised in a Jewish household, he recently started exploring Islam. Despite differences in faith and custom, Zionism was consistent among Israelis. I was fortunate enough to befriend a couple of Israeli soldiers who stayed with our tour group for a few nights. In an activity organized by our tour group leaders, we were assigned to have a discussion with one of our Israeli soldiers regarding Israeli politics. Although the soldiers we met with may have all had different political views, that pride in being an Israeli transcended the gravity of the politics. Constantly asking questions and engaging in critical thinking have helped me form my own unique opinion and connection to Israel. Especially with the high holidays rapidly approaching, I think that as individuals, and especially as Jews, it is essential for us to continue to look at our faith from a dynamic point of view. I returned to the U.S. before the media headlines broke about the violence in the Middle East, but my sister was in Israel at the time, and because of that, her perspective on Israel is different from mine. Amidst the news uproar, I saw social media becoming cluttered with pro-Israel, pro-Palestinian hashtags. I always think we should think about justice and resolution instead of choosing sides. Because if we take sides, how can peace and compromise ever become a reality in the Middle East? Od Yavod Shalom Aleinu. Again, peace will come upon us. At the end of the day, I know that going on birthright made me realize how grateful I am for Judaism, my congregation, and my family. I urge you all to encourage the young Jews in your lives to take a leap of faith and go on birthright, because the experience strengthened my identity as a Jewish adult. Amy and I thank you for your attention tonight. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you both, and Sarah and Absentia for those stories and those images and bringing those with us. You know, when we face east, it just makes, it really helps us understand why we face east, I think. And we face that direction now for Aleinu, and we feel a sense of closeness to that home that's so far away, right? It's also sort of within us. So please rise. Page 586. Think of our loved ones now, those whom death has recently taken from us, those who died in this season and years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own Zichronam Livracha, and their memories be for blessing. This week we mark the yahrzeits of Lee Barron, Joseph Belport, Min Chayat, Marcia Cohen, Esther Farber, Lillian Goldstein, Murray Goldstein, Rose Callett, Carol Lepworth, Albert Meshmar, Ida Sachs, Sally Scherer, Fanny Sobol, and Sophia Starr. And we also recall those laid to rest during this past month: Nancy Ryder, sister of Marcia Myers, and William Conaghy, father of Sean Conaghy. And if there are other names of folks you are remembering for Kaddish this week, you can say those names at this time. Mourners and those who wish to join them, please rise for Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Alma, Divrach, Yivriteh, Yamut Malchuteh, L'chayechon, V'yomechon, L'chayet, Chol Beit Yisrael, La'adalah, V'yizman Karev, V'yimur Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah, L'varach, Le'olam, L'le'amaya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yithar, V'yitramah, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei V'yishah, Le'ela Mikol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechamata Da'amiran V'Alma V'Yibru Amen. Yehei Shalama Rabba V'Shemaya V'Chayim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Yibru Amen. Oseh Shalom V'Ramah Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Yibru Amen. To the source of peace, send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved, and we say, Amen. So we'll all stand, and we're going to echo Sarah's words and sing Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, page 657. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu.
That's right. That could have been a year of fasting. Pastrami.
Pastrami.
That's what would have been good.